Hello and welcome to Linguistic Cases Explained. My name is Samuel Johnson. I have a master's in Spanish linguistics and I'm learning Greek right now. So I'm here to describe linguistic cases to you. What are cases? Cases are a device that some languages use to mark the role of a noun in a sentence. It's usually determined by a suffix, although it can sometimes be done with a prefix. Since there's a lot of languages in the world, we're just going to be using Greek. So in Greek, we have 4 noun cases in the ancient variety of the language. The modern language only has nominative, genitive, and accusative. It lost the dative. However, we're going to be using the ancient variety for the purposes of this video. So the nominative describes the actor of a sentence. So if I were to say, the cat kills the bird, the cat is in the nominative case. If we were to do the genitive case, it would say something like the cat's bird. And English is usually described with the preposition of. You can also say the bird of the cat, right? The cat's bird. And that apostrophe S that we keep is actually the genitive case. So English actually has a genitive case in a way. The cat's bird. The dative is the recipient of something. So you can think of this as the indirect object, right? So if you send a card to your grandmother, the grandmother is the dative in that sentence. And the accusative is the thing acted upon in the sentence, right? So if you send the card to your grandmother, then the card is the thing that is accusative. Other languages have more or less, although these for the nominative, the genitive, dative, accusative, they kind of form the most common for amongst languages. It's not common that there are only a few languages that I can think of that don't have the dative if they have the genitive. Modern Greek being the only example I can think of. However, there are other languages that have way more. Sanskrit has twice as many with 8 cases. Ukrainian has 7, and Finnish has up to 15. This is because, as you can see with the dative, right? I send a card to my grandmother. The to kind of takes, says, hey, this noun is going to be dative. In some languages, you don't really need the preposition to communicate that. You can do that purely with the case. In languages like Finnish, they prefer to do this kind of thing as opposed to using the prepositions. And we'll see this in one of our examples later. So if verbs conjugate to change, nouns decline, and we call these noun declensions. So here we have an example of the noun anthropos, and we can see it there in the Greek script, and the way it declines or changes based upon its use. So in the nominative singular, it's anthropos, but in the nominative plural, it's anthropi. This is really common amongst a variety of languages, particularly Indo-European ones. Old Indo-European languages old Indo-European languages actually had the dual, which is, for just 2 things. However, most of them lost that. The accusative, anthropon, plural anthropous, genitive anthropou, plural anthropon, dative anthropo, and plural anthropis. And this is just the masculine, this is just I believe it's the second declension masculine noun. However, there are other declensions, and a lot of languages that use cases will have various patterns of these. So if you're familiar with Spanish and they have the 3 groups of verbs, Greek has, 3 main declensions of nouns, as does Latin, and I think Sanskrit does too, although I don't know Sanskrit too well. So let's look at some examples of how cases are used in some example sentences. We're going to be using our ancient Greek, Koine Greek, for this example. Right, so we have color coding going on. N for nominative, A for accusative, G for genitive, D for dative, V is written out as a verb. And we also have determiners in this light gray, light blue kind of color. So the first example, o anthropos heri. So anthropos is the nominative, and heri means rejoice or rejoices. So o anthropos rejoices, the man rejoices. There's only one case that he can be in, and that is the nominative case. Here we have our second example, o anthropos phili ton skilon. The man, phili, loves, like Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, ton skilon, the dog. Skilon is another one of these nouns that declines like anthropos. And so to turn skilos, the nominative, the dog, into, for example, if we wanted to say the dog loves the man, it would be o skilos phili ton anthropon. So we just take that S off and we add on the O. I mean, not the O, the N. We add on the N. O philos tu anthropo heri. The friend of the man rejoices. All right. So philos, once again, this is kind of like love, friend, friendship, love. These concepts go together in Greek. Philos is in the nominative, right? Because heri, again, he's rejoicing. All right. O philos tu anthropo heri. So this u ending communicates that it's the genitive. Yeah. So you could actually read this as the friend of the man rejoices. You'll also notice that the determiners, ton, tu, you actually decline the articles or the determiners in Greek as well to show what case the following noun is going to be in. And finally, we have our last example, o anthropos pebi vivlian to philo aftu. So we got all of them going on. I should have colored that aftu into the with the orange, because that's actually a genitive determiner. So we have o anthropos, we know that means the man. Pevi means sends. Vivlian, a book, but book is in the accusative case. Vivlian is actually a first declension noun and is feminine, so it's a little bit different, but we're going to leave it here just for the sake of teaching cases. O anthropos pebi vivlian. The book is the thing that's being sent. To philo aftu. The philo is in the dative case because he's the recipient of the book, right? The friend is the recipient of the book. Philos is declined like anthropos. And then aftu, like I said, I probably should have made this orange to illustrate the fact that it is genitive because it's his friend, the friend of the man. So o anthropos pevi vivlian to philo aftu. So that was linguistic cases with ancient Greek in a nutshell. I hope you got something from this presentation, and thank you very much. Have a great day.